Hello everybody. With so many brands in this beauty space, it's, I think, really interesting to think about just how many brands are going to be around, say, in 10, 15, 20 years. What brands have the longevity factor and what brands do not? I was watching Whitney Hedrick. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. She has a channel about makeup, but she looks at it from a more critical perspective. She is not afraid of analyzing and really critiquing the industry, and she talks a lot about makeup from a financial perspective. She talks about having a love for makeup, but she also has a lot of really great points and tips if you want to love makeup at the same time and not blow all your money on it. So I highly recommend watching her videos, especially if you, like me, are really interested in making better financial decisions but still have this love for makeup. Now, she did talk in her videos about the idea that there are going to be certain makeup brands that are simply going to die out. Nothing can last forever, and she did mention that this really strong buildup of brands, with everybody coming out with a brand new brand all the time, we really have the potential to see a lot of brands fail spectacularly, because when you have so many different brands and still many more coming in and being brought into the conversation, you have a great potential, or you have an increase in potential for many of these brands and other brands to lose their business, lose their audience, and really just inherently lose their success. And more, we're seeing individuals use makeup brands and use this industry as a quick cash alternative, or a way to really make a lot of money really quickly. And yes, a lot of individuals may say that they're looking for longevity for their brands, but I don't think that there are many brands actually that have that longevity factor. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 brands that I believe do not have that longevity factor. These are 5 brands that I believe we won't be seeing around in 10 years. And I will say that I might be completely wrong, of course. We might be seeing these brands in 10 years, we might not. And these brands might be super successful and they might keep being successful. But on the whole, what these brands have in common to me is that these brands are all managed by individuals who are interested in making a lot of money, but not necessarily interested in having a brand that lasts a long time. Actually, some of these people might be interested in having a brand that lasts a long time, but on the whole, I don't think that these brands that I'm going to be talking about today are going to exist for many more years. The first brand that I want to talk about that matches this description perfectly is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, if you're a fan of Jeffree Star, you probably should not be watching this because you'll probably get offended. But I just want to say, I have my thoughts on Jeffree Star. I have one product from his brand. It's a really great product. It's one of his velour liquid lipsticks. Really great quality. Just want to say that. But I do not necessarily find myself buying from Jeffree Star Cosmetics because I'm not necessarily that interested in the brand because of how much the brand is tied to Jeffree Star's image and to his overall persona. I think that in some cases brands have or brand owners really successfully are able to have a certain divide between their character and their brand, but in some other cases brands such as Jeffree Star Cosmetics are so synonymous with their namesake that it's kind of difficult to separate the two, and in many ways I don't want to. Jeffree Star Cosmetics is a brand that seems to really be good at releasing a lot of really hyped up items. Certain things from the brand have really been hyped up to extraordinary levels. Nevertheless, though, these products have enabled Jeffree Star to make a huge amount of money and really just, I would say, increase his personal net worth exponentially. What I really want to say is Jeffree Star represents a certain kind of persona, or a certain type of mannerisms that doesn't necessarily leave a good taste in everyone's mouths. Some people are okay with how he conducts himself, what he says, how he acts, but other people are not. And I think that with so many brands being present in this industry, with so many new brands launching almost every single day, if not every single day, I don't think that there's going to be much room left for Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and that is because their owner happens to be somebody who is very controversial. The thing is, as we look at history, it's very easy to see that controversy usually doesn't last very long, except in very rare occasions. But on the whole, if something or somebody is super controversial, they tend to not have the longevity that enables them to stay relevant for a certain period of time. Jeffree Star has been able to build his brand from the ground up rather quickly. He has been able to reach a large following rather quickly, and at the same time, he has experienced a great deal of controversy because of things he's said, ways he's behaved, the way he acts towards his customers and fans. So yes, Jeffree Star Cosmetics and Jeffree Star himself, they've gone through a lot of different things. But as we move further into the 21st century and as we move into the next decade, I really don't think that people really have it in themselves anymore to tolerate this kind of behavior. And yes, I do think that it is important to differentiate between the persona and the brand. However, in this case, the brand is in some ways irreversibly tied with the person who founded it. So I definitely do think that the success of Jeffree Star Cosmetics has a lot to do with the likability or the popularity of Jeffree Star himself. Looking at the PR of it all, I don't think that Jeffree Star Cosmetics has a lot of longevity. I don't think that we'll be seeing the brand in 10 years, in 20 years, in 15 years. I just really don't. It would surprise me if we did. The next brand that I want to talk about, Morphe. Now, all of you have heard of Morphe. I, for one, have a great deal of Morphe in my own personal makeup collection, but I truly believe that Morphe is in it for the money, and once they're done, they're gonna be done. Morphe started a few years ago as a brand that people had seen, people had heard about, but it wasn't until Morphe started really utilizing social media and really utilizing beauty gurus and beauty influencers to make themselves more money. Honestly, we still don't know if Morphe is private labeling or not. It was a big controversy when they first started how they were private labeling, and they never even acknowledged that they did, but it was pretty obvious that they were doing it, and they never even talked about it stopping, or they never even acknowledged that it had stopped. We don't know if they're still private labeling, but we also do know that Morphe in and of itself is surrounded by so much controversy, and Morphe inevitably is a controversial brand. We don't talk about it, but in my mind, they are a controversial brand. When they first had the discount code with their influencers, with their Morphe babes, they are one of the first brands that really encouraged influencers to start utilizing affiliate codes. However, the thing is, it wasn't actually common knowledge that these were in fact affiliate codes. People who were using these codes weren't necessarily aware that Morphe was giving money to the influencers who had these codes. So it was all a very fishy situation. And yes, that is only one example, but I do think that Morphe is not a brand that is built for longevity. Rather, it is a brand that is built to make a lot of money quickly and then fizzle out. If you look at the quality of their makeup, that says a lot. I'm not necessarily talking about the formula. The formula can be really good. Some of their items I really do like. But if you look at the packaging, if you look at the whole aesthetic of the brand, if you look at the quality of certain makeup items, if you look at the way that they behave in public situations, Morphe is not a brand that is built for longevity. In my mind, a brand that has the potential to be a long-lasting makeup brand is a brand that strategically releases good innovative makeup products that still cater to the audience that they have built, and also a brand that is very careful about how they look online, or rather how they look in the public image. Now, I don't really think that Morphe generally puts in a lot of effort to have that kind of longevity. Rather, they put in a lot of effort to make people spend money on them. And they do that by utilizing influencer marketing, by really just like taking advantage of their large fan base to generate more income. And in general, Morphe does tend to be quite tight-lipped about it all. They do tend to be very, I would say, secretive about the way they run things, the way they formulate things. if they actually formulate anything. So I don't necessarily think that a brand like Morphe is going to last for very long, because honestly, I think it's kind of obvious that they are in it for the money and then they're going to be out. Moving on, I want to talk about Kylie Cosmetics. Now, I could talk about a variety of celebrity and influencer brands, because there's so many celebrity makeup brands that I do not feel possess the longevity factor. Kylie Cosmetics is one of them. I really truly believe that Kylie Jenner is in the makeup business to make a lot of money, not necessarily to be there for a very long time. I'm pretty sure that she would love to be in the makeup industry for as long as she possibly can, and that's probably what she's going to end up doing. However, I do not believe that her brand is built to last. The name says it all. Kylie Cosmetics. She named her brand after herself, which in essence isn't necessarily the kiss of death, alright? A lot of brands are named after their owners. You have Estee Lauder, for instance, and that brand definitely has that longevity factor. However, Kylie Cosmetics is a brand that releases products so very quickly, and if you look at any of the releases, so many of the releases have a lot to do with Kylie's personal life. In fact, they're inspired by things like her birthday, her child, her family, and her brand has a great deal, if not everything, to do with her celebrity, and her success in her brand has a lot to do with her ability to really be a celebrity that so many people find themselves idolizing. And if you look at the actual makeup, it's nothing special. You don't see a lot of people really loving on Kylie Jenner's makeup products. I, for one, really do think that she has that loose highlighter that I really do like, but that's like the only thing that I like from the brand. And yes, I haven't tried a lot, but then again, I'm not interested in trying a lot. Her brand literally, like, it doesn't necessarily even look appealing. It looks like a fad upon fad with every single release and every single launch. And that kind of brand is not built for longevity. It is built for a quick cash grab, and that's it. Similar to this, KKW Beauty. Now, I really do think that Kim Kardashian doesn't necessarily have that much of an interest in makeup. She just looked at the makeup industry, she saw where things were going, and she was like, you know what? I can make some money off of this, and she has done so, and she has done so very successfully. I really do think that Kim Kardashian's brand actually does look like it has the potential to be a little bit more successful than Kylie Jenner. If you look at the long-term factor, her brand is essentially a great deal more aesthetically pleasing than Kylie Jenner's brand. But at the end of the day, I don't think that either one of these brands has the potential to last for a very long time, because these brands are so tied to the celebrities that have started them. And the success of the brand is tied to the celebrities themselves. So once that celebrity decreases in popularity, once they become irrelevant, so does the brand, and then the money stops. The last brand that I want to talk about is IT Cosmetics. I don't really talk about IT Cosmetics on this channel because IT Cosmetics does not interest me. But I was watching one of Smokey Glow's videos, and Smokey Glow is another creator that I absolutely love watching. I'll put her channel down below. Go check her out. She's amazing. She was actually giving like a list of problematic brands that nobody talks about. And IT Cosmetics was on the list, in large part because of their refusal, it seems, to have inclusive shade ranges. And interestingly enough, IT Cosmetics is one of the brands that is the worst at releasing good shade ranges. And strangely enough, they're also one of the biggest brands that are part of this conversation. Their products, as boring as they might seem, literally don't have any kind of good shade range. You have a whole bunch of really great options if you have fair to medium skin, but almost nothing for deep skin tones. And that can be seen in so many of their complexion products. And guess what? Moving further into the 21st century, we ain't gonna have time for that. And I really do think that any brand whatsoever, no matter how big, no matter how small, that refuses or neglects to really put in the money that they have and the effort to create good shade ranges, any brand like that doesn't have long for this earth. They seriously don't, because guess what? There's so many brands. There are so many brands out there, and what it takes for a brand to be successful in 2020 and moving on from that is inclusivity and a really good public image, good products, innovation, all of that and much more. But I really want to concentrate on the inclusivity. Inclusivity is being talked about more and more. Thank goodness. But it leaves brands like It Cosmetics in the dust. And that's a good thing, because if a brand like It Cosmetics refuses to be inclusive, or they just simply neglect to be inclusive because they don't think it's beneficial for them, they're not going to be around for much longer. That's just my opinion. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Those are 5 brands that I really do not think have the longevity that is needed to last for the next 10 years or so. Thank you so much, Whitney, for inspiring me to create this video. I'll put her channel down below for those of you who haven't already checked her out. But with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.